It is no longer news that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed the new INEC chairman. But the real conversation isn't about the appointment itself. In fact, it's something we love. It's something we've prayed for. But then, it's about who this man is. A former APC council and a lawyer to the sitting president, now being the umpire of Nigeria's next election. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not politics. I know, this is politics, sorry. This is more than politics. This is strategy and quite frankly a bold power play. Because make it make sense. How does someone who has an affiliation with the ruling party be the INEC chairman? And we expect that person not to be biased. We are definitely not going to have a free and fair election come 2027. This is an indication. This is a
You are
confirmation.
watching Trending with Tosin.
Now, for those who may not know how powerful this position is, the INEC chairman, officially the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, is not just another appointee. This person is the Chief Electoral Officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He or she oversees everything from voter registration to election logistics, collation of results, and ultimately announcing who wins and who loses. In a democracy like Nigeria's, this is arguably one of the most sensitive and strategic offices in the country. Why? Because whoever controls INEC machinery indirectly influences the very foundation of power. According to Section 151, subsection 1 and paragraph 14 of part 1 of the third schedule of the 1999 constitution as amended, the president of Nigeria nominates the INEC chairman. The Senate confirms the nomination. The appointee must be a Nigerian citizen of unquestionable integrity. They must not belong to any political party and they must have relevant administrative or electoral experience. The chairman serves a 5-year term, renewable once, and oversees election at every level of government. Now let's address the real elephant in the room. Why does the sitting president have to be the one to appoint the INEC chairman in the first place? Historically, this structure was designed to streamline the appointment process under the executive branch and ensure quick coordination. In theory, the president nominates, the Senate provides check and balances through confirmation, and the appointee is expected to remain neutral. But in practice, it is not that simple. Now, because when a sitting president who will likely be contesting or has a party that we appoint the very person who will supervise the next election, people will naturally question neutrality. And let's be honest, Nigeria's history has not helped build that trust. We've seen how confidence in elections often hinges on perceived impartiality. Remember Atairu Jega in 2015. His perceived neutrality helped stabilize trust in the electoral process. But in later years, under Mahmoud Yakubu, allegations of bias and logistical failures shook that trust significantly. This time, what Eaton brings up even more is that the newly appointed INEC chairman is reportedly not just politically linked, but was once Tinubu's lawyer and allegedly a member of the APC. Constitutionally, INEC must be independent, but politically, perception is everything. Nigerians are asking, how independent can INEC be under someone who has worked closely with the president is supposed to regulate? And you can't blame the people for being skeptical. The person who counts the votes must not be seen as wearing the jersey of one of the teams. Even if they are qualified, the optics alone can undermine public confidence. This is why many civil society groups and some social media content creators like Randy Peters have advocated for the reform, for electoral reform, and have asked that the appointment of the INEC chairman be taken out of the hands of the executive. Some have proposed independent panels or judicial service commission style models where multiple arms of government and civil society nominate credible candidates. Because at the end of the day, democracy thrives not just on laws, but on trust. If citizens don't trust the umpire, the match loses its meaning. So here we are again, a new INEC chairman, a powerful seat, and a nation holding its breath. Nigerians have one simple demand: an electoral system they can trust. Whether this appointment strengthens or shatters that trust, time will tell. But my people, democracy is not a spectator sport. If you don't watch the process closely, someone else will play the game for you. So, fam, what do you think? Do you believe this new INEC chairman can be truly independent? Or is this just another well calculated political power play? Let's talk in the comment section. Now let's leave West Africa and travel northeast to the Horn of Africa, Somalia. Somalia is a country located on the eastern coast of Africa, bordered by Ethiopia, Kenya, and the Indian Ocean. The country has a complex history of colonialism, civil war, and political instability for decades. Somalia has struggled with conflicts, humanitarian crises, and weak governance structure. It also a deeply conservative Muslim country where religious and customary laws strongly influence legislation. Now, here's exactly what happened. October 1, 2025, Somalia's House of Parliament ratified the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. One of the major points of this treaty is that the minimum age of marriage is set at 18. This was celebrated by human rights group and organization that fight against child marriage. October 2 to 4, international NGOs like Save the Children applauded Somalia. It was a big step forward, at least on paper, to protect young girls. On October 4, 2025, just 3 days later, everything changed. Somalia's Ministry of Family and Humanitarian Rights Development issued a statement saying that the country will not apply the 18-year marriage minimum where it conflicts with Islamic law and Somali constitution. In simpler terms, yes, we ratify the treaty, but if it clashes with our interpretation of religion or the constitution, we won't follow that part. After this announcement, conservative lawmakers, religious leaders, and elders celebrated the decision. But human rights groups and activists were outraged, and just like that, what seemed like progress was reversed in a matter of days. This is not just about politics, it's about real life. Now, and according to UNICEF and Girls Not Bright, about 47% of Somali girls are married before the age of 18. Some are married as early as 15. Early marriage often means dropping out of school, early pregnancy and health risks, poverty and lifelong inequality. Now, the International Charter Somalia ratified was meant to protect girls from these dangers, but by making an exception to that law, the Somali government has essentially said our religious and cultural practices come first. Of course, religion is a sensitive topic, but when cultural or religious practices endanger children, it becomes a global human rights issue. Now, international NGOs like Save the Children and the Human Rights Watch condemned the decision, warning that Somalia girls remain vulnerable. Conservative voices in Somalia praised the government for defending religious value. Many ordinary Somalis, especially women rights activists, fear this move could fuel child marriage further, making it even harder to protect young girls. Meanwhile, across Africa, this story is sparking debates about the balance between religion, culture, and universal human rights.
Soomaaliya waxay u ahayd maalin mugdiya, maalin madow ah. Shalay baarlamaankii wuxuu u soo saaray ama uu go'aan ku gaaray wax la aqbali kara ma aha. Annaga muslim baan nahay, boqolkiiba boqol muslim baan nahay. Soomaaliya Ilaahay ha laga cabsado. Arrintan arrinka hortag u baahan waaye. Aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed, aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed. وارث الأنبياء باتهين إذن كان هذا المقلنا محاد دعي محل لوجو أمسني هاي أرنتان أو الشيخ سومو أو من نولم يا أو الشيخ شاكر من نولم يا ورابي علم ذي إله إنك عبسن ور إله إنك عبسن إله ولابن شيخ محمد معلن أبشر آبي شيخ نور على جمعة علي آبي ور إله إنك عبسن الشيخ عبد الرزاق أشعري آبي ور إله إنك عبسن ور إله إنك عبسن أرنتان أرن لا أقبل كرمه dadkan waana rogayaan ilaahay aan ka cabsano war ilaahay aan ka cabsano ilaahay aan ka cabsano arrimahan laga hortago arrima la aqbali karo ma aha 18 sano gaalay u qoran tahay caruurtooda ku qaangaaraan annaga inaan ku raacno ma aha nabiga sallallahu alayhi wasallam khalifa al-mushrikiin buu nafaray inaan mushrikiinta khilaafnana la faray ilaahay aan ka cabsano war ilaahay aan ka cabsano war ilaahay aan ka cabsano